So you can go and check that out as well. Link to that in the info box below. Okay, so let's move on to the next part now. So I went through this evening, to try and find, okay, this OceanGate group, what are they doing? Like, do they really have this submarine? Is there evidence of this submarine going to see the Titanic? And I found a few videos that I think are worth taking a look at and playing. So this one's just a quick one. Again, I know a lot of you guys are listening to this rather than watching. It might be a bit frustrating when I talk about stuff that is in videos that you can't see, but I'll try and describe it so that you're not missing out on too much. But for those of you who are watching, you can watch along with me. This is a 6-minute video. We're just going to watch 20 seconds. I want you to see what it looks like inside the sub. And again, this is all ostensibly or supposedly. Any footage can be doctored, of course. But let's just look at it on its face value before we believe it or disbelieve it. Let's just see what's being presented. And once we've accumulated enough of this evidence, then we can start to... I shouldn't say we. Once I've looked at enough of this, I can start to form my opinions as to whether this seems believable or not. So let's take... And I'll link to all of these. I've got like 6 of these videos ready to go. I'll link to all of these in the show notes below, so if you want to go and check these out, obviously you can. But this is just 20 seconds from an OceanGate video from April of 2019. So actually from a couple of months before the article that I wrote, from the material that I published back in 2019. Let's take a quick look at this. This is footage from inside the submarine, and you can see the main guy, I forget his name, Rushton, the main man who does all of this. He's sitting there cross-legged because it's such a small little space. There's no seats or anything, there's no chairs. You sit on the floor cross-legged in this little submarine, and they're looking at a screen, presumably underwater. Listening to music. That's it. Then they start to show footage of their deep dive. The thing is, this dive didn't supposedly go to the Titanic. It just went, according to them, 3,700 meters below the surface. Now, if that's true, if there are humans who have managed to engineer a device that can go that far down into the ocean, the depths of the ocean, and not crush, and come back up and everyone's safe, if they've actually done that, that's an amazing achievement. And I suspect they have done that. So full credit to them. The issue is that back in 2019, they weren't claiming they'd been to the Titanic. Okay? They were just going to some place. You know what I mean? It's cool, don't get me wrong. But this isn't the Titanic. So I kept on searching. I found this. Now, this is from 8 years ago. This is the development program run by the same group, OceanGate, talking about the Cyclops, which was their first super submarine. Like, by super, I mean it's still a small submarine, but like amazingly strong to withstand the pressure down below. The one that supposedly got lost today was the Titan, which was the second version. The point is, they've been working on this for a long time. Let's take a quick look at this. This is from 8 years ago from the OceanGate YouTube channel.
The key to the future lies in the oceans.
If you think about the Earth as really the landmass that we all occupy, then there are 3 planets worth of resources available in the ocean. Minerals, chemicals, biological. It is a vast, huge opportunity.
Now that guy talking is Stockton Rush. Those of you listening won't have seen this. The way this video started, I'll just put it on mute so the noise doesn't annoy you. Let's just watch this again. This video starts off with a camera going across the ocean. Then it morphs into below the ocean with the fish. Then it morphs into footage that appears to come from NASA, from space, of a satellite looking across the Earth. And you know those, again, those of you watching, you're like, JLB, we can see it. Some people are listening to this rather than watching. I want to make sure they don't miss anything here. So it's morphed from an ocean skimming, a camera skimming across the ocean, to a camera below the ocean with the fish, to a camera looking down on Earth from space, and all of the cities lit up. You know those photos or videos supposedly from space that show all the cities being like glowing yellow because, you know, there's so many lights, and the rest of the Earth not bright because, you know, they're not covered in lights? Those to me are all obviously fake. Obviously fake. And why is this OceanGate company and their promotion for their submersible 8 years ago, long before their supposed missions to Titanic, why would it be that whoever's put this together has edited establishment footage, basically, like to open up the clip, of a camera skimming across the ocean, and then below the ocean, and then skimming across space looking down at Earth? These are little things that I used to care about a lot back in my media fakery focus days, which was years ago, of course. The thing for me is, those skills that I feel I developed back in those days, we're talking 2014, 15, 16, basically. I feel like those are skills that stay with you. That is the ability to pay attention to what's on the screen and why is it there? What sounds am I hearing? And who put them there? What's the intended effect here? What might be the meta effect? This is the media fakery. You can call it training, really. Not that there was anyone to train me. However, there was a lot of good people doing good work on YouTube at the time. A lot of the stuff they put out was crap, sure. But a lot of the stuff they put out was good. And so it helped me to reevaluate, how do I consume media? How do I process it? What kind of attention am I paying to it? And so I just wanted to point that out with this one. Let's go back to the start. Now that I've pointed that out to you, those of you who are watching can watch along with me. The important thing is they're about to show this guy, Stockton Rush. He is the main man of this Ocean Gate company. He was back then at the beginning, and they started about 10 years ago. He is the guy in charge today, as we'll see later. But let's just take a look at this introduction to this Cyclops Submersible Development Program clip one more time.
The key to the future lies in the oceans.
If you think about the Earth as really the landmass that we all occupy, then there are 3 planets worth of resources available in the ocean. Minerals, chemicals, biological. It is a vast, huge opportunity.
An opportunity realized by collaboration between science and industry.
Cyclops is a 5-person submersible.
Cyclops by OceanGate will provide real-time on-site access to the ocean depths for a wide range of users: filmmakers, tourists, scientists, the oil and gas industry, salvagers, and more.
Situations where you need to have a decision maker on the job site.
OceanGate's new approach to manned submersibles is based upon new lightweight materials,
A carbon fiber hull,
existing off-the-shelf technologies,
commercial game controllers, standard computers.
and operational efficiency.
One of the things we've done is automate a lot of the internal functions. It is a very simple vehicle to train someone to operate.
Cyclops launch and retrieval system does not require a costly support vessel.
If you look back at the
So I think, because time is of the essence, we've seen enough of that. It's a 2-minute clip. I've just played 1 minute of that. But you get the idea. This is not some new company that just sprung out of nowhere. This is a company that existed at least 8 years ago, according to this video. And from the other stuff I've seen, maybe 10 years ago. The point is, back when I was doing my research in 2019, these guys weren't claiming to have gone to the Titanic. I don't think they were even claiming they could go to the Titanic. They might have been one of the companies who claimed they could, but then kept cancelling before every mission, which you can read more about in that article that I mentioned earlier. But back then, this OceanGate group, I don't think they were claiming to even be able to go to the Titanic, let alone claim that they'd done it. But they have been working on these submarines for a long, long time. That part I think is legitimate. Now let's move on to the next little video that I've got lined up. This is a video from 5 years ago. They're looking at how they put together their Titan submarine. So this was their second submarine. The first one was called Cyclops. The second one is called Titan. This is just a 24-minute time lapse. There's no audio to it, or there's no people talking, so I can just talk while I play it for those of you who are watching. For those of you who are listening, it's just a time lapse from a factory where you can see a bunch of, what shall we call it? Let's just call them workers, because I don't know their specialties. But you can see them putting together and working on this submarine. I do believe this is this is the submarine that supposedly went missing today. This is the time lapse from 5 years ago showing different people working on it to build it. So I do believe this thing exists. To me, you could say to me, oh, but JLB, they can fake. Yeah, they can fake anything. But some things, I think, are real or are likely to be real. And this time lapse, I watched it and I thought, yeah, this could be fake. They can fake anything. They can fake that they're building a rocket to go to the moon. But the rocket itself, I think they are firing rockets into the air. I just think those rockets go straight into the drink, which is kind of ironic when you think that this submersible was invented to go into the drink. The rocket, probably real. Is it going to space? I would say probably not. This submarine, probably real. Is it going to see the Titanic? I would say probably not. I would say probably not. But again, with everything I do, I could be wrong, or I could be right, or maybe we'll never know. Probably we'll never know, actually. Please do leave your comments in the comment section below. I'd love to get your thoughts on all of this, and I will leave the links to everything I'm looking at and everything I'm reading as we go through this presentation in the info box below, in the show notes below. So if you want to go and check it for yourself, you can. You might come to a different conclusion to me. Okay, next video. This one is from just 10 months ago. Now, this is from when OceanGate were claiming they could go to the Titanic. This is a 3-minute video. I'll just play a couple minutes of this. This is from CBC NL. Only has 10,000 views. The title of the video is, "This submersible takes passengers to the Titanic wreck. Climb in." Let's take a look at this.
We are inside the submersible Titan, which is a carbon fiber and titanium sub that can go to the depths of the Titanic. Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO and founder of OceanGate. Let's take a look at Titan.
So this is the same guy that we heard before. The video from 8 years ago featured Stockton Rush. He is the same guy. You can tell it's the same guy. He sounds like the same guy. He looks like the same guy. And as you can see, his technology has progressed from the original Cyclops to the new Titan. He's about to show us the Titan. And this is from 10 months ago. One I showed you before was from 8 years ago. This is from 10 months ago.
So we're coming into the sub. This is the only toilet available on a deep diving submersible.
Now this is one of the first things that I found very suspicious when I was watching this footage. Again, listeners, you know I'm trying my best to explain it to you. The viewers can see it. They're claiming that on this little submarine, let's go back here just a couple seconds. Now look at this. They're claiming that that's the toilet. Now, for those of you listening, it's a tiny little black box, okay, that presumably people will pee in it, but there's no way they could possibly poo in it. I mean, which is fair enough. It's a 12-hour mission, that's right. Something else that I saw said it's a 12-hour mission. So that would say to everyone, listen, make sure you go and do your number 2 before we get on the submarine, because once we get on there, there's nowhere to go. And even if there was, we still don't want you to do it because it would stink out the whole place, right? So this is presumably for people to pee. If that's the case, why a tiny little black box like that? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. That's not, by the way, that's not proof of anything. Okay, it's not proof of anything. But they've got enough space there. You could put one of those little, what do they call them? Bio-organic or bio... You know those little toys that people have on their camper vans? I don't know the word for it. You know the ones that kind of like, they've got chemicals in there that you can use and it sort of gets rid of the smell or whatever. They've got enough room to do that. I know it's a small little submarine, but they do have room to do that. They're going to put this little black box there anyway. Why not just go a little bit bigger and get a proper toilet? Like, not even one to crap in, just like, why this tiny little black box? I don't get it. Anyway, this is not proof of anything. I must be missing something here. But as soon as you showed me that, I thought, that's weird. Check this out. They put their little portable black box. It's like a little black plastic tub with a little... It's just very strange. I don't get it. Anyway, so they put that there next to the one portal. There's only one window in this submarine, which is fair enough because you would think when you're engineering this, to engineer something to see through would be much more difficult to keep structurally sound at those kinds of depths than opaque materials like titanium or whatever, right? So it makes sense that they'll only have one portal. Why would you put your crappy little black box toilet where the best part of this? Very strange stuff, folks. Anyway, let's carry on.
Sub, this is the only toilet available on a deep diving submersible. Best seat in the house. You can look out the viewport. We put a privacy screen in.
See, so he's even telling you that the little crappy little toilet gets the best seat in the house and they have a privacy screen for you to use it. So every time someone wants to take a pee, everyone else can't see through the portal? What? Why would you put the best... Like, why would you give the best view of the submarine to this place where people go and... Guys, it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway.
Turn up the music, and it's very popular. We have our control screen here, our sonar screen here, and we can put any image we want in the back. We've taken a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens. So if you want to go forward, you press forward.
So he's holding a video game console controller. So you know the idea of the modern video game console controller where you hold it in your hands. You've got sort of 4 buttons on the right for your thumb. You've got the directional pad for your left thumb. Then you've got 2 omnidirectional knobs, I suppose you'd call them, that you can also access with your thumb. And then the buttons that you can use your 4 fingers for, like a PlayStation or like an Xbox, this kind of thing. Same design. He says that it's all new. It's not, because in the earlier video that I showed you, he was doing the same thing, and he spoke about doing the same thing 8 years ago with his original Cyclops, right? I don't know if I can... Here you go. Take a look at this.
Existing
This is from the 8 years ago video.
off-the-shelf technologies.
Commercial game controllers, stand.
That's from 8 years ago, and you could see, those of you watching, using commercial game controllers. And that one even looked like a straight-up PlayStation controller. Let's look at this. That looks like a straight-up PlayStation controller.
Shelf technologies.
That's a dead set PlayStation control. Whereas that was 8 years ago. Whereas the one that he was passing off as all new, that I haven't seen that kind of design. That might actually be a proprietary thing that they've got. But yeah, it's not all new. But again, these are just little details that don't prove anything one way. It doesn't prove it's real, doesn't prove it's fake. It's proof of nothing. Okay? But these are the kinds of things that I notice when I'm looking at news stories or so-called documentaries. What are you showing me? What are you telling me? Why are you doing that? And you as in, who's editing this or who's producing this? What's their intended effect? Let's go back to this. So let's go back to the one from 10... This is from 10 months ago. Let's go back to this.
It wasn't a tent. It was this magnificent thing.
Who's cutting my Where's Larry Crown?
Maybe you got the flu.
With regard to nobody died, nobody got hurt in these wars.
How dare you?